Ladies and gentlemen, today we are talking about the much anticipated Ethereum Merge, which is the most critical update to Ethereum in its history, and it will see Ethereum adopt proof of stake at the heart of the protocol. In this video, I'll explain what the merge is, when it's happening, and more importantly, what this means for you, the Ether cryptocurrency, and all the tokens that live on the Ethereum mainnet today. If you like crypto and you want to learn more about the latest news, trends, and information in the crypto space, make sure you hit subscribe, click the bell notification button so you get a heads up whenever I post new content here on the channel every single week. Now, for years, we've been anticipating the promise of Ethereum 2.0, an entirely new evolution of the dominant smart contract-enabled blockchain that we have seen bring to life DeFi, NFTs, in some ways the metaverse, and more. We're fast approaching the first of several pretty huge steps towards the completion of this new chapter for Ethereum. And the first major step is what's being called the merge, which marks the official shift from the Ethereum network's current state using proof of work consensus to proof of stake, which is core to the vision for Ethereum's future and a completely different paradigm than what we're used to. Notably, proof of stake will eliminate the energy-intensive process of reaching consensus on the Ethereum network, bringing a reduction of energy consumption for Ethereum by nearly 99%, which is pretty huge. But you're probably thinking to yourself now, okay, great, Ethereum's moving to proof of stake. Why is it called the merge? And I totally get why you would think that. Here's why. As we speak, here in March of 2022, actually almost April, there are actually two Ethereum networks today existing in parallel, if you really think about it. One is the proof of work network, the one we use today and the one we call Ethereum 1.0. And the other is the beacon chain with the new proof of stake mechanism at its core that's not yet operable for smart contracts and transactions right now. That's what's always been called Ethereum 2.0, but that's changing. The merge, as it's called, is the official plan from the Ethereum community to create one unified Ethereum network with proof of stake at the core, but also the ability to handle all the transactional and smart contract execution functionality that we use every single day on Ethereum. Merging the best of these two disparate Ethereum networks that exist today, taking the consensus mechanism from the beacon chain network and the core state of data and smart contract execution functionality from the existing Ethereum network. Now, stick with me because I'm going to share with you some info on what the merge means for you specifically and, of course, for the markets. But understanding the merge itself and what it is pretty critical to understanding that and why I feel these predictions will come true. Now, over the last 2 years, plans have shifted drastically for the eventual launch of what we've long called Ethereum 2.0, with proof of stake, as we already discussed, but also in the future, new scalability solutions dependent on sharding, rollups, etc. As I just described, Ethereum's future now centers completely squarely on the proof of stake consensus-driven beacon chain and the existing Ethereum network state and execution environment together as one. And the Ethereum community has officially shifted away from the original nomenclature of Ethereum 1.0 and Ethereum 2.0. And now we're using names that better represent the mechanics of how Ethereum will operate post-merge and ones that eliminate a lot of the scams in the whole space. At the merge, you will have proof of stake consensus as the engine beneath the existing execution environment for smart contracts that we are used to today, merging what are effectively the two operative components of both networks that we talked about. Therefore, it seems fitting that the new official nomenclature for Ethereum, both pre and post-merge, is the consensus layer, referring to the new proof of stake environment, and the execution layer, referring to the mainnet smart contract execution environment that we use today. That's quite literally what the merge is. The consensus layer, which was once called Ethereum 2.0, and the execution layer, once called Ethereum 1.0, being merged together to constitute one unified Ethereum network that functions to the user users like you and me, just like it did before, but with a much more energy efficient consensus mechanism in proof of stake as a platform to build the future of Ethereum on top of. Which brings me to the next piece, which is when should we expect this merge to happen? And what do you need to do to prepare for it? Now, let me be clear. There's no official date confirmed by the Ethereum Foundation, so I'm speculating here. But we do have some data to make an educated guess. One of those hints is the proof of work difficulty bomb that's currently scheduled for June of 2022. Now, the difficulty bomb is designed and planned to incentivize or push the shift to proof of stake by drastically increasing the difficulty of winning the computational race for proof of work and mining a block on the network. The difficulty bomb is a key piece of the path to the merge, because the merge will take place not at a given block height, but at a given point of total difficulty for proof of work on the network. I think they're calling it like terminal total difficulty. What this tells me is that we have a bit of a hint as to when the merge of the execution layer and consensus layer to shift Ethereum to proof of stake will actually happen. Based on the progress we've seen on the merge plan, the code, the upgrades, the testnets, etc., on both sides of the network, my estimate is that the merge takes place right around that June or July timeframe where the difficulty bomb was pushed out to originally earlier this year. I'd estimate that we will see Ethereum's merge happen in about mid-summer to the end of summer of 2022, barring any issues, and then attention will shift completely towards the future development and all the work around scalability and execution environment changes and upgrades like WebAssembly, for example. Now, you're also probably wondering what the heck to expect after the merge and what this means for you, for the prices of your favorite cryptocurrencies, Ethereum fees, and what actions you might have to take after the merge. Now, let's start with the last question and work backwards. The answer to that last question is easy. You shouldn't have to take any action here. The state or the balance of Ether and all the tokens you have on Ethereum as you know it today will get merged over to this unified Ethereum merge net or post-merge Ethereum network. The way I look at it is this is an upgrade to the existing Ethereum network rather than a net new network, right? That's how you can think about it. This is an upgrade to Ethereum just like you've used it. So there's no new Ether coin, by the way. It's the same Ether that you had before. So that said, anyone claiming they have some new ETH2 coin is a complete scammer. There's no new token. There's no new coin. Unless you've staked your Ether on the Beacon chain through the official smart contract or some other provider like an exchange in the past, as this staking functionality has been available, there'll be no action required from you when the merge happens if the current plan is adhered to. However, if you've staked your Ether with one of those providers, there will be a process for unlocking those previously staked Ether when the merge goes live. So your usage of dApps and other Ethereum tools like MetaMask, like a wallet, will work as normal after the fact. So you don't have to expect any disruptions from there. And that was really the whole point of the merge, frankly, to make this transition as easy as possible to get to that end state. Now, here's the piece that everyone really wants to know about. What does this mean for both Ethereum fees and the prices of cryptocurrencies, both Ether and altcoins built on Ethereum? Let's start with fees, a big topic. We all know that transaction fees on Ethereum have been untenable, way too high, pricing people out. However, the truth is that this merge and the introduction of proof of stake will not be the wholesale change that reduces gas fees by any significant margin. There may be modest improvements, but nothing that puts Ethereum into the same vein as some of its competitors in the fee department. It's been made very clear by Vitalik Buterin, the founder of Ethereum, and other notable people in the space related to Ethereum, especially the people behind the merge, that Ethereum is going to be a layer 2 centric ecosystem where most of the raw volume of transaction for decentralized applications will occur on layer 2s. Think Arbitrum, Optimism, ZK Sync, etc., for low fees and high performance. Things like sharding, rollups, etc. will improve the overall scalability of Ethereum in the future, but this is all about laws of supply and demand. There's so much demand for Ethereum block space that simply moving to proof of stake, etc., is not going to be enough to meet that demand with block space supply. Even with faster block times, with more transactions per block, it's not going to be enough. Despite the misconceptions, the merge will not be the answer to high fees, but using layer 2s will. If low fees on the Ethereum mainnet layer 1 is your only concern, this is not the answer, at least not in isolation. But scalability upgrades will come, and likely sooner than one may think, with the latest specs for sharding coming along pretty nicely and being talked about quite a bit in the news recently. Now, with that fee business out of the way, there is also the hot button topic that is the effect of the merge on the price of Ether and the many tokens that live on the Ethereum blockchain. You've likely heard of the idea of deflationary Ether, meaning that the supply of Ether would be reduced over time by way of network operation rather than inflation by way of issuance. And this mechanism is driven by the burning or removal from supply of ETH upon the consummation of each new block of transactions on the network. This concept of burning Ether for each block has been around for a while, since the advent of EIP 1559, which introduced this concept of burning ETH, and it's been, I think, think it's burnt over 2 million ether from supply since the beginning, at the time of recording this at least, probably more by the time you watch this. Post-merge, we'll likely see a rather significant reduction in issuance of Ether by way of block production by a magnitude of around 10 times. So that's the inflation rate by percentage, 10 times reduction. This means that around 10 times less Ether will be issued and a large amount will continue to be burned. This is where the idea of deflationary ETH comes in. Again, harkening back to the laws of supply and demand, if there is less and less Ether in circulation and either stable or increasing demand for that Ether whose supply is reducing, that equates to positive price pressure. We've already seen this price pressure in action with the burning of ETH to date before this post-merge reduction in issuance, so it's pretty fair to say that the speculation around the price of Ether going up after the merge is pretty well founded on a purely economic study of the facts, particularly if we end up in a deflationary area where there is more Ether being burned than being issued. However, I encourage you to exercise caution because there is no guarantee of price appreciation here. There never is. So please ignore anyone promising you gains on Ether just because of the merge and the issuance economics associated with it. There's no such thing as a guaranteed win, especially not in crypto. We can also extrapolate theories about other tokens that live on Ethereum and how they will react to these new Ether economic dynamics and the new upgrade to the network and what that means. Firstly, for DeFi coins, you'll likely see an increasing shift towards layer 2s, which will drastically improve user experience for these decentralized exchanges and lending platforms, etc., which will hopefully reflect positively on the price of these underlying assets. Furthermore, NFTs will likely also benefit the most from this merge, in large part because it will finally put to bed the common diatribe about NFTs that NFTs destroy the environment. Because Ethereum will join basically all the other blockchains where NFTs are minted as an energy efficient network without the high energy usage of proof of work. Now, that will be arguably the biggest argument against NFTs in general completely eliminated, which is significant. Even if the effects aren't felt immediately as the NFT hater brigade comes to terms with the fact that they're probably going to have to come up with something other than right-click save and energy inefficiency to bash NFTs in public now. Now, these are both speculative in nature, right? The layer 2 shift and the reduction of energy usage and the subsequent change in dynamic there. But in reality, they could very well be valuable for both fungible and non-fungible tokens on Ethereum post-merge in terms of the psychological benefit. All in all, the Ethereum merge to proof of stake is by far the most significant update in the protocol's history, and much will be discovered throughout this process. How does the market react for ETH? How does DeFi on Ethereum react? How will miners who relied on Ethereum for proof of work mining make their moves after the merge? And of course, what will the security dynamics on the network be? Will we see a difference in how the network behaves with proof of stake? This is one area of crypto you need to be paying close attention to because it will have widespread implications for all of crypto, in my opinion, insofar as just Ethereum is such a big player in this space. That said, if you want to get the latest on all things crypto, please do subscribe to the channel. And heck, if you can stick around and watch this video that I'll link on the screen, it would be amazing if you have time to do that. So thanks so much for watching, and until next time, cheers.